This is Jim Emter, Van Ahn & Company, Alexandria, Minnesota, with your closing grain and livestock comments for December 23rd, 2016. Corn market on the week down 9 1/4, soybeans down 46 3/4, wheat market down anywhere from 13 to 14 3/4, Chicago and Minneapolis. On the day on Friday, corn down about 1/4 cent, bean market down 4 to 5, wheat down 1 to 4. As you look to the grains, really we're watching the Argentine rains. That was a big culprit to the weakness in the soybeans this week. Obviously, beans holding a bit of a weather premium, and that was kind of taken away with these rains. Now, keep in mind, we still have above average temperatures, so we need to start focusing in a little bit on some of these key support measures. We look for corn support to set up between 335 and 345. Look for soybean support to set up right around that 965 to 985 area, and we look for wheat support into about 385 off the Chicago. Minneapolis still kind of perched on the pedestal here a bit. Looking at good rains over the weekend potentially across Argentina once again, and that's the other catalyst to being down, but we'll kind of watch those forecasts and get a fresh look at the grains here as we work into next week. Look for this weakness to potentially bring some improvements to basis here as we work ahead. If you're looking at the cattle markets today, the feeder cattle market on the day was down 50, live cattle down 50, hog market down 150 to $2. On Friday, or on the week, excuse me, feeder cattle were up 70, live cattle up 245, and the hogs down 147.5. So a bit of a weaker tone on Friday, as we said there just prior to the weekly closes. And the main culprit was we had a lot of information coming at us at 11 o'clock. Cattle on feed came in at 99% versus 99% expected. Placements at 115 versus 112 expected. So that's the bearish catalyst there in cattle. Marketing's 117 versus 116, and the cold storage report reported 531.5 million pounds in the freezer stocks. The hog and pig report was also negative. 104% was the token we got for all hogs, 102 expected. Kept for breeding, 101 versus 100 expected, and hogs kept for marketing, 104 versus 102 expected. The cold storage indicated 520.3 million pounds of pork inventory in freezers. So again, both were a bit negative here. We'll see how that carries over to next week. We look for a little more negative tone, especially with these two markets or three markets holding a lofty premium. This has been Jim Emter, Van Ahn & Company, Alexandria, Minnesota. Trading in futures and options involves risk of loss and is not suitable for all producers. Past performance is not indicative of future results.